What's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen. Get some.
I don't know why I ever got mad at LeBron last year, because he went from the most beloved player to the most hated because he left Cleveland and went to Miami. I'm a comedian. I travel every week. I've been to Cleveland, been to Miami. Not a tough decision if you ask me where I want to live. That's not asking some dude, hey, man, who'd you rather fuck, Beyonce or Precious? I'm going to go Beyonce. I'm going to go Beyonce on this one. Yeah, I'll go Beyonce. But Precious raised you. You grew up with Precious. I don't want to fuck Precious no more. Saw this documentary on LeBron too called More Than a Game. They had his high school coach on there, and his mom was on there, and they said LeBron was raised by a single mother in Akron, Ohio, and then interviewed his high school coach, and his high school coach was like, if LeBron would have had a dad in his life, his game would be at a whole nother level. I said, I don't think so. I think LeBron's better because he didn't have a dad in his life. Because LeBron's got like a broken home type of game. Because you could tell there's some pent-up aggression come from somewhere when he's on the court. Because he be dribbling hard, passing hard, dunking hard. Where the fuck is my dad, Mom? Shit! God damn! You ever see Kobe Bryant? Kobe had a mom and dad. Bounce pass, layup. Hey, Dad!
What's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. If you want to share this with people, just go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/GaryOwenCom. You can also find the podcast on iTunes. Just search Gary Owen or United We Cast or the hashtag Get Some podcast. It's also on Google Play, and it's bootlegged at various barbershops all across the country. So I'm sure you can hear it there also. We got a lot to talk about this week. I had somebody say, why is your podcast not longer? Because it was a truck driver. And he was like, I'm in my truck and I like to listen to the podcast. And my understanding is I try to keep my podcast under 45 minutes because I think people lose attention spans after that. But sometimes if it's a hot, juicy topic, we could go over 45 minutes. I'm in a great mood. The Bengals won. They beat the Buffalo Bills. It was a great game. AJ Green balled out. It was funny. I was over at my friend's house, Ric Bucher, who's an NBA analyst. He's one of those guys, him when you see him. But I was in San Francisco over the weekend at Cobb's Comedy Club. And whenever I'm in the Bay, Oakland, San Jose, or San Francisco, I always go over to Ric's house. And he lives in this area called Half Moon Bay, which is I call it the fakest neighborhood ever because it's not real. It is so beautiful. Everything's organic. I mean, literally, I'm driving through this forest and then it just opens up and there's this huge pumpkin patch on the left. And there's people just with their kids and the grandmothers and they're picking pumpkins. And then all the grocery stores are organic and gluten-free and sugar-free. And everybody just looks like they're moving a little slower. It seems like they figured life out in Half Moon Bay. They figured it out. And then you go to his house and he literally has a white picket fence in the backyard. It is the kind you would think about in a nursery rhyme. Like it's just there to let you know I got life figured out. I got over there early because I love being on the West Coast watching NFL football because it comes on at 10 in the morning. I love just rolling out of bed and watching football. So I had my buddy with me. Excuse me, my voice is hoarse this week. I've got a small frog bug in my throat. But we go over to Ric's house, and his wife made tri-tip. She had steak and potatoes and eggs, and she made me this hash. She put the potatoes, and then she put the steak in, and then she put an egg, an ovaries egg, on top of it. And then she had this fruit that was cut up perfect, and it was bright and looked healthy. I'm gluten-free unless you got some bomb-ass apple crisp. Then I'm going to eat that gluten. His wife makes the best apple crisp I've ever eaten in my life. Ric always, when his wife leaves the room, is like, yo, man, my wife don't cook like this normally. Ric said he woke up and his son had a basketball game at 8:30 in the morning. And he left about 7:45 and his wife was already up prepping the food because she goes, Gary's coming. And I'm like, dude, I'm the wife whisperer. Some people got the dog whisperer. I'm the wife whisperer. I'm here to help relationships out through my stomach. I learned that a long time ago, man. You just get in good with the wives and compliment on the food, and they always want you back over. They always are like, is Gary coming back over? I just show up and I'm like, you're welcome. My presence is at your home. Isn't that enough? And then I straight take over the TV because I looked at his wife and I literally wanted to grab the remote from her because I knew what channel the Bengal game was on and she was struggling trying to find it. And I'm like, come on, man. It's 707. It's DirecTV. I know what it is if you got the NFL package. I already looked it up. And she's like, I just can't find 7. Oh, it's 707. 707. Just give me the remote, ma'am. Please give me the remote. I know where it's at. Because once it hits like 9:59 in the morning and the game starts at 10, I start to panic. Because I don't want to miss the first kickoff return for a touchdown this year. But anyways, thanks, Rick, for having me over. Your wife, the food was amazing. I'm in a great mood. The Bengals won. Whenever they win, everything's just better in the world. Like the sun shines brighter. If it's raining, it's not a storm. I mean, everything just seems right. I just feel good. I can watch ESPN at night, knowing if they go to the Bengals game, it's okay. A.J. Green was a part of 3 turnovers. One was Andy Dalton's fault. He threw it too high, and it's glanced off A.J.'s hands, but that was Dalton throwing it high. The second one was A.J. Green's fault. That hit him right in the numbers. It just popped out of his hand. And then the fumble that A.J. had.
Well, this is the 8th play of the drive. Mixon returns in the backfield. And another throw to the middle. Pass is complete in the middle. It's A.J. Green. It's knocked loose. Picked up by the Bills. Poyer picked it up off the turf. And he's rolling to the far side of the field. Another turnover forced by the secondary.
He just got rocked by Alexander of the Bills. Sometimes you got to be like, you got to hold on to the ball. Sometimes it's just a good hit. That was just a good hit. I mean, he didn't see it coming. He had the ball tucked. It was just a great play. When he fumbled that ball, basically he was a part of 3 turnovers. I looked at Rick. I go, he's going to catch a big ball. He's going to win this game. Because before, when they had Zampese as coordinator, he would get too creative, and I think he'd almost try to trick himself into tricking the other team. I like this new offensive coordinator. He's like, nah, we going with you going to AJ and you going to Mixon, and that's it. Everybody else fall in place. You get it when you get it. And I knew, I was like, when AJ fumbled the ball, I was like, he's going to get the ball again. And sure enough, Andy looked for him. He ran it down to the 3-yard line, and Mixon ended up getting his first touchdown. I'm just waiting for him to have a big game because he really hasn't had that 2-touchdown game yet. But I got a feeling it's coming. It's coming. Other than that, man, it was a great week. The Bengals won. I left Rick's house, and I went to my first Oakland Raider game, and I just wanted to experience everything. So I walked that whole stadium. I went down in the black hole. I went up top. And I will say about NFL stadiums, no matter what NFL stadium you go to, the higher up you get, the lower tax bracket it is. Because you go to that nosebleed section, man, there is some people on parole up there. I was looking around like, it's a little dangerous up here. I'm not sure if I should be here. Here's what's funny. So I got tickets, and my buddy left me tickets. He's the DJ for the Raiders for their home games. His name is Chino. He's a DJ in the Bay Area. But he left me tickets, and he was cool because he made sure I was in the shade. And because it was funny, when I posted a video and pictures on my social media of the Raider game, you know, some people want to hit you up. Hey, why you sitting way up there? Why you sitting way up there? Well, club level is always the second level. And he made sure the way the sun was that I was in the shade. I couldn't have picked better seats. The shade was on me. We had a nice view of the stadium. Everything was good. Here's what's funny, though. At some point, the tickets must have dropped out of my pocket when I was sitting down. I don't know. But I got up and I went to the club level, and I was actually in the club. And it's basically just an inside area where you can, if you can get out of the rain or get out of the sun if it's too hot, or the cold weather stadium, get out cold. And it's no different than the rest of the stadium. It's just all enclosed, and they got different food selections, and they got lounges, and you can sit and watch the game on the inside if you want. So I'm in the club, and I don't have my ticket, and I guess you needed a wristband to be in the club. I don't have either, because when I got there, most of the security guys knew me, so they just left me alone. They was like, "Yeah, G, you good." So I go, there's the old black lady. She was, "Where's your tickets?" And I don't have my tickets. So I said, "My wife has them. She's sitting down in our seats." I said, and I knew my seat. I was like, "We're in section 210, row 11, seat 11 and 12. And she goes, "You got to have your tickets." I said, I know. We just came up to say hi to some friends. Then she goes, "Where's your wristband?" I said, I don't have a wristband. She goes, "You need a wristband, be in here." And then she looked at my buddy. She goes, "Where's your ticket and wristband?" I go, "He's with me." And she goes, "That's it." She calls over to the cops, not security. This is how you know Oakland's a little dangerous. They got cops all over the stadium. Now, I'm in the Bengals game. They got security. You might see a cop every now and then, but it's pretty much just security with yellow jackets on. No, there's cops everywhere at the Raider game. These two cops come up to me, and I'm being cool, and we were getting ready to leave anyways in a few minutes. So she was like, these two got to go. They don't have wristbands or tickets. And I'm telling the cops, my wife has the tickets. She's sitting down in our section. So we just came up to get something to eat real quick. And the cop was being cool. And it was funny. It was a white cop and a black cop. And the cop was being really cool. He goes, hey, man, it's cool. Just take you down to your seat. And he goes, so you have tickets, though? And I was like, yeah. And I go, how am I going to get out of this if I go to my seat and I don't have my tickets? Right when shit could have gone left, or he could have really pressed me and kicked me out, even though I was leaving pretty soon anyways. It was like the brothers came through. This one brother come up, G, asked for a picture. Then another brother came up. I'm not lying. It was a line of about 10 brothers surrounding me, asking for pictures. The white cop was so confused because he didn't know who I was. And then I saw the black cop get in his ear. And then the brothers was telling the cops, you know who this is? And the cop, he goes, hey, man, you good, wherever you want to go. The white cop said that. And I pulled him aside after the picture line died down. And I was like, hey, man, the front office actually invited me. I'm lying again. And I was like, the front office actually invited me. You might want to tell security before she jumps to conclusions, just to have a conversation with people every now and then. Because she didn't want to hear my story at all. She just wanted wristband and tickets. And I saw him pull her aside, and he was trying to explain to her who I was. And it was just funny because she was ready to kick me out without hearing my whole story. And this happened to me. This is the second time this has happened to me at a football game. 2 years ago at a Bengals game, I went down where the friends and family section is after the game. It's where the players come out of the tunnel if you ever go to a Bengals game. And once you see your family, you just, you go see them. Well, when I walked out, somehow I got on the other side of the railing, not on purpose, and all the family and friends knew me. So I'm literally walking out where the players would walk out. And I'm walking pigeon-toed like I'm hurting everything, and I'm acting like I'm signing autographs, and everybody's laughing. Well, the head security guy in Cincinnati is a white dude, and I always say, when I always tell my stories, I always say white dude, black dude, Mexican, Asian dude, and my buddies always get on me about that, but I've been doing that since high school, and I go, I guess I just want people to have a visual in their head when I explain who people are. So the security guard, a white guy, he tells me, hey, man, you got to get on the other side of the railing. I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm just goofing off, blah, blah, blah. I get on the other side of the railing. All of a sudden, more players come out. Marvin Jones comes out, who is now with the Detroit Lions. He was with the Bengals then. He comes out, and his family was with him, and they asked for a picture. So I go on the other side of the railing to get a picture with Marvin Jones' family, and as soon as they take the picture, the security guy came out of left field. You're gone. He's yelling at me. I done told you. I said, no, they asked for a picture with me. I didn't cross this to like make you upset. He didn't want to hear it. He kicked me out. Like the two cops walked me out. So I'm now outside the stadium. Then Carlos Dunlop, who left me the tickets, his assistant called me. He's like, Garrett, where you at? And I go, I just got kicked out. She goes, what? Come back. So I come back, and she said, who kicked you out? I said, some security guard. She goes, I'll get the head of security. He'll make sure you get back in. When I walked back to the family and friends section, the head security was the guy that kicked me out. And he had his face just turned red. Tiffany said, my friend just got kicked out. We got to let him back in. He goes, oh, shit. I just kicked somebody out. That might have been your friend. And when I came back, he was looking at me, and I started laughing, and I think it alleviated the situation because I said, hey, man, I wasn't trying to cross you or anything. They asked for a picture. He goes, hey, man, now I know who you are. You're good. He goes, I just didn't know. And it was cool, but it also goes to show you people get upset over little shit, and they feel disrespected over. Don't assume everybody knows you, and don't assume they're doing it just to be dickheads. Because the guy literally was doing his job, just like the old lady to some extent was doing her job. But I didn't get upset in either situation. I was just like, it'll work itself out. And look, in hindsight, what if I did get kicked out of both stadiums and I never got back in? I got something to talk about on stage. I got a story to tell on my podcast. So it wasn't worth the argument in either situation. It's just funny it's happened twice to me. Maybe it is me. Maybe if that happens a third time, then maybe I got to start figuring out what I got to do with games better. I did feel bad watching that Chiefs-Texans game. I did feel bad for the Texans because their top two defensive players got hurt, And the big one was J.J. Watt. I mean, you could tell it wasn't good when he went down. And then he was almost in tears leaving the field. But he's that old school football player. I mean, I bet you 85% of the people would have went off on a cart. He's like, nah, I'm walking off the field. And I always think when somebody does get taken off in a cart, if I was a football player, I'd be taken off in a cart also. I wouldn't be that dude like, I got to walk off the field. I'd be like, nah, I don't have nothing in my contract. It says I need a bonus. Where's the cart? I don't know. They still might make a run. Their division isn't that strong. Everybody's got huge weaknesses in their division. Yeah, so the Texans lost Whitney Merciless and J.J. Watt. And J.J. Watt gets all the press, but Merciless is a monster. Think about the Texans defense. Merciless is out. J.J. Watt's out. Cushing's out. I mean, that's 3 of their top defensive players. And I mean, they still got Jadeveon Clowney, but they're so beat up on defense, man. It's hard to come back. The other big news in the NFL was Miami's offensive line coach, Chris Forrester. I'm dumbfounded. Sends a video of himself snorting cocaine. Well, they say it's a white powdery substance. I don't know. He's either snorting flour, sugar, stevia, or cocaine. You pick what he's snorting. But he snorts it in the facility, Miami Dolphins facility, tells this stripper, I can't wait to see you again. I'm missing you. I can't wait to party with you. This is how we used to party, and I can't wait to do it again. And then a nice little nugget at the end is he takes his pinky, takes the excess cocaine, puts it on the end of a tongue and says, I wish this was your pussy. This guy's wilding. And the sad part is he's married. That's the bigger issue. You got to explain this to your wife. And then lost his job. And then here's what gets me. He sends it to her, which is stupid. Then the stripper posts it and does it in the name of social injustice. She said, this is for Colin Kaepernick, and this is for all the black people that have been oppressed. Really? Really? That's why you posted it? I'm not going to say her name on the show. I don't want to get any press, but if I see her, I'm running. I don't want to take a selfie with her. I don't want to say hello to her. If she's going that route, and she's a stripper. I mean, that's like stripper code 101. That's literally one of the few places left on earth that there should be no cameras and videos at strip clubs and strippers. Oh my gosh. That's just crazy. He did it in the facility and right before he goes into a meeting. I've never done cocaine in my life because of Len Bias. When Len Bias died, I was like in elementary school and he just got drafted by the Boston Celtics and he was like the stud at University of Maryland. And everyone said if Len Bias goes to the Celtics, Larry Bird plays for another 2-3 years if he can play his role, and the Celtics win probably maybe 2 or 3 more titles. Now that's all hearsay, but he was as close to guaranteed as you can get. His game was that of an NBA game, and he's a couple years after Jordan, but everyone was talking about how Jordan, had to play the team game in North Carolina, but once he got to the NBA, he could really flourish. And who knows if he would have had Jordan's work ethic and attitude, but if you ever saw him play in college and saw what other people said about him, it was no doubt he was going to be an NBA superstar. And do I really think that was the first time he ever did cocaine? No. Do I think it was like one line of cocaine and then that was it? No. I'm sure he did a lot of cocaine that night. But the fact that I'm such a kid, I'm so impressionable, I always was scared to death of cocaine. Because of Len Bias, in my mind, I'd still tell myself, nah, you could die if you do any kind of cocaine. I'll be honest with you, I've never done any drugs, except I did smoke weed with Snoop one time. And I've never smoked weed, and it's never interested me in any sense or form, but I'm at the BET Awards 2014, and all of a sudden I get summoned to Snoop's circle. It was like out of a movie. So there's just a circle of people sitting and the joint starts getting passed around and it comes to me and I had a decision to make. And I felt like I was disrespecting Snoop if I didn't take a hit. So I took one hit and I passed it and I danced for an hour. I don't know what was in that weed. The joint got passed and I took a hit and whoop, I think I danced for an hour. I was doing dances that didn't go together. And it's like another time. Another time I was filming something with some rappers. I'm not going to say who they are, but I was with a couple of rappers filming a TV show. And they were in their dressing room smoking weed. So I walked in. I'm just BSing with them. And they're passing a joint around. They came to me. I was like, nah. And they said, you sure, Jay, you don't want this? I said, no. They said, you ever smoked weed before? I was like, nah. And then one of them goes, yeah, you don't want to start with that. You don't want to start with that. They said, we need you to film today. You can't start with that. So that was my weed stories. I got 2. Basically, I just never saw the reason in it. I never saw the point of it. It just, cocaine scared me. Len Bias. If they say if his death saved one person's life, it might have been mine, because his story scared me so much, because I was just at an age where I was very impressionable, and I was at an age where I was like, that was Lakers Celtics time, when it was just Bird and Magic, and I was like, I was a Celtics fan back then. I was all about the Celtics, so I was like, when they got him, I was like, oh my God, the Celtics they got Len Bias, and then the next day he's dead. It just blew my mind. Because, that's the good thing about living and growing up in Cincinnati was, not good, but we didn't have an NBA team. So your allegiance, it didn't matter. You can go wherever you wanted. And back then, late 80s, early 90s, the bad boys came in at the end, but it pretty much was Lakers Celtics. And then, you didn't get excited about the other games like you did the Lakers and Celtics. And I was such a young kid back then. I was just, you just had to choose one. It was Lakers or Celtics. And then they had the terrible looking cons. I don't know if you remember the cons. There was the Converse All-Stars. Then there was the Converse Weapons. And the Celtics ones were so ugly. They were disgusting. They were this dark, it looked like sludge green. And the Lakers were so cool. It was like gold. And then everybody else started getting shoes. I was like, I bought the Celtics one. Well, no, I didn't get either. I couldn't afford them. But if I would have got any, I remember just kids wearing the Celtics one to school. Like, those are the ugliest fucking shoes I've ever seen in my life. But I never said it to them. I was like, oh, you got the birds? You got the birds? That was one of the best commercials.
The Converse weapon, that's the shoe that's meant to do what he was born to do.
It may be so, but that's not all. They let Isaiah play like he's 10 feet tall.
For the kind of moves that never fail, the weapon's the choice of Kevin McHale.
The same is true for Mark McGuire. When I wear weapons, I'm on fire. Well, what can the weapons do for King? Why, I can do just about anything.
You already know what you did for me.
What?
I walked away with the MVP.
The Converse weapon, the #1 weapon.
That was one of the best commercials, too. When I wear weapons, I'm on fire. And then Bert came in, but, and then, I think Isaiah had a pair and Dominique. And then right then, Bert came in like, if you wear weapons, you're just like me. And Bert came in, but you know who walked away with the MVP? Them ugly-ass shoes. Ugly-ass shoes. And then Jordan came in and just changed the shoe game completely. And I don't know if anyone remembers old school. I don't remember when you remember Spud Webb won the dunk contest one year, and Pony tried to give him a shoe. It was called City Wings, and that was a thing. They go, why wear air when you can fly? Stupid ass Pony. Anybody wear Pony? Talk about shoes, man. We are a week away from the NBA season starting. Man, I'm pumped. I'm going to the Cavaliers-Knicks game. October 29th. A friend of mine's having a birthday party up there, so I'm going to go up. I'm going to go to the game. I'm excited about going to the game. The Knicks ain't got it. I don't even think they got anybody I want to see. Porzingis, that's about it. Knicks will go. I'll bet you. Here's the thing. The Knicks will have a better record this year than they probably have had the last 5-6 years. When you purge a team and then they just start playing, they're going to have a few upsets. I bet you have a better record than they did last year. As much as nobody's on the team, they will have a better record. Let's be honest. Somebody was talking about Kenyon Martin going in on Jeremy Lin because of his haircut. Jeremy just gets more urban and urban every year. I'm just waiting for him to say the N-word. That's all he's got left to do is pop the N-word out. Talking about the Knicks and Jeremy Lin, it's still crazy how in 2012, Jeremy Lin had that 10-game run. And if you think about the Knicks' history, the last 8-9 years, that's the most exciting time it's been to be a Knicks fan. Was when Jeremy Lin had that run, because he came out of nowhere and he was going for 25, 30. And he's still in the NBA because of those 10 games. Because he's one of those guys, you'll be watching, if you got the NBA package or you're watching TNT on Tuesday or Thursday, and it'll be like Portland and Charlotte. And you'd be like, oh, shit, Jeremy Lin's on Charlotte? Like, you didn't even know. All my life, he'll be in Sacramento before his career's over. All my life. Sacramento's always got this is how they should announce Sacramento starting 5. The casual fan. This is how, when they're announcing the players, you're looking at the starting 5 doing this. Oh, shit, that's old boy. It could be John Smith. Oh, shit, Vince Carter. He's still in the league. It's just, that's the starting 5. Talk about not giving up, Vince Carter. That, a lot of people don't know, he's in Sacramento this year, and he's gonna average 10 points. Watch. It's going to be 40 years old averaging 10 points. Who does he hang out with on the road? And what's he got to talk about with the 21-year-old player? Nothing. Vince is going to be by himself at Fuddruckers on the road as a 40-year-old with some 21-year-olds. He ain't going to no nightclubs with them and stuff like that. Might be at a wine bar watching tape. I'm not lying, though. I've been to some nice houses in my life. The summer of 2012, I taped a TV show with Shaq called Upload. And we taped a lot of it. We taped it in Orlando, and we would either tape on the Universal lot or we tape at Shaq's house. And there's this neighborhood. It's the same neighborhood where Tiger Woods got in trouble, called Islesworth. It's nothing but multi-million-dollar homes. But Shaq was in the neighborhood. Tiger used to live there, but Vince lives there. Vince, top 2-3 houses I've ever been in. And I asked him, I said, how long did it take to build this house? He was like 2.5 years. And he's very hands-on. The backyard, it's like out of a resort pool, sits on a lake. He's got a full court basketball that's attached to a gym that looks like Gold's Gym. And then the shower is plush. It's like you're at a spa. I worked out there, and then I played hoops. And it was crazy. Like, it was like I don't know. It wasn't even like a Gold's Gym or Lifetime. It was nicer than that. It was like he was at a high-end spa getting a shower. And it was funny because I had my son with me, and my son was 12 at the time, and we're at Vince's house, and we're shooting hoops at his full court basketball court inside his house. Stress that, inside his house. And Vince comes out there, and he's giving my son tips on how to shoot. So I'm sitting here watching. So then I start doing it. I start working on my shot the way he's teaching my son how to shoot. Why do I go to the YMCA and I ball the next week back in Ohio? Like, I hit like 3 threes. My shot was just falling. And I was doing what Vince told me to do, changing my shot a little bit. And one guy went, hey, man, you been practicing or something? Because I haven't played all summer. I've been filming the TV show. So I just got back. So it's the same group of guys that usually play during the week. And the dude was like, hey, man, you been practicing? And I sent a tweet and I tagged Vince in it. I said, Vince, you see this? Because a guy went on Twitter and was like, I hooped with Gary Owen today. And he said I was schooling guys and he'd been practicing or something. Something where he was giving me a lot of props for playing basketball at the YMCA that day. So I tagged Vince. I said, you see this? It was just funny. It was like I had my little moment of glory. And it was just crazy. I did what Vince said and my shot got better. And I was so mad at him. I said, man, that sucks. I finally learned how to shoot a basketball in my late 30s. This sucks. I could have probably made my varsity basketball team in high school if I learned how to shoot like this. Guess it helps when you got an NBA veteran showing you how to shoot. I want to thank everybody in San Francisco last week that came out to see me. Cobb's was so dope. It's such a great. I love San Francisco because I like getting up in the morning. It's like hoodie weather. You can wear shorts, but there's always a breeze coming off the wharf, so you can't just wear a t-shirt. You can wear the hoodie. I love that, and I'm a coffee drinker. So I don't like freezing rain or snow and stuff, but I do like, about 50 degrees in the morning. You can have a cup of coffee and you feel like it's serving a purpose, like it's warming you up. That's not going to happen this week. This weekend, I'm in Phoenix at Stand Up Live, and I've already went to Siri, and it's going to be in the 90s. Ain't going to be no morning cups of coffee this week in Phoenix. It's going to be 90 degrees. One of my favorite cities in the world. Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale area. It's just dope. The whole area is dope. I love that place. I love it. Honestly, I've never heard anybody go to Scottsdale and Phoenix and like, I don't like it. They might say it gets a little hot, gets a little warm, but I've never had nobody say they didn't like it. Only time I would say I didn't like Phoenix was I did a show when the Super Bowl was there, when the Patriots played the Seahawks. The Super Bowl was in Phoenix that year. And I had a show at this theater on Friday, the Super Bowl Sunday. So my show's Friday. And the promoter at the last minute, I didn't have my hotel information. He had me at some resort an hour away. And I wanted to experience the Super Bowl. I want to stay in the city. So I said, dude, I can't stay there. I'm literally the week of, I'm looking for a hotel. And I spent $350 a night at a La Quinta. It was the only thing like halfway decent in Phoenix. And I was like, and I stayed there for 3 nights. And I told the lady when I checked in, she was laughing because if she's checking me, I go, you're ripping people off, right? Like, this should not be $350 a night. You know that, right? I pulled her aside. I said, I ain't paying for shit in this pantry. Because they ain't got no room service at the La Quinta. You got to go downstairs, and it's got like a refrigerator with sodas and water and juice. There's a pantry like candy bars and chips. And I told her, I said, I ain't paying for shit in this pantry. I'm just letting you know now. And it wasn't even like directly in the city. It was still on a little bit of the outskirts, but only like 10 minutes outside of Phoenix. But I was like, I'm not paying for this, right? You must be crazy. I've had some times in Phoenix. I was in Phoenix when the Steelers played the Bengals a couple years ago when, Jeremy Hill fumbled and we had to melt at the end of the game.
To get an attempt at a winning field goal. Jones, middle of the field, and that is intercepted, and it's perfect. He comes away with the football. He better be down because he's running the wrong way. I mean, what is going on here? 5 Bengals ran right up the ramp to the locker room, including Burfict with the football. Question is, was he down? I believe he was.
Watch what he does, though. 55. What a job. Contact, he's down. Contact takes him to the ground. There it is on the ground also.
Yeah, no question.
But he fooled the quarterback.
Here's Hill. Jarvis Jones. Ball is out. Shazier had it for a moment, and now it's picked up by Cockrell. Let's see here. They're going to rule that Hill was down. I believe it's a fumble.
Called a fumble on the play. It will automatically be reviewed, of course.
Recovered by Pittsburgh. 1st and 10. Pittsburgh.
Oh, my goodness. What a change of events here. Still got it. That was stripped away by Shazier. Did the elbow touch first, or was the ball coming out? It's coming out.
And the game. Let me tell you how crazy that night was. Anthony Anderson called me and said, dude, I'm doing this show. I'm roasting Alabama and Clemson at the same time. We're going to go from one hotel to the other team hotel. And it was sanctioned by the NCAA or something. It was all in the up and up. But when the playoff schedule came out, I was like, okay, before it came out, I said, as long as the Bengals don't play the Steelers on the Saturday late game, I won't miss any playoff games because I'll be in Phoenix. And there's a 3-hour time change. Why did the Bengals and Steelers have to play Saturday night? I was like, you got to be shitting me. I could have watched the early game Saturday. I could have watched both games Sunday. So I was in between doing these shows. Like I got to see like the first quarter, then went on stage and performed for Alabama. Then we got in these cars and we drove over to Clemson's hotel. So I saw the first quarter. I missed the second quarter, missed halftime. I got to see most of the third. And then I got on stage and I did my thing, got off. And it was like halfway through the fourth, and the Bengals were losing, but they were still in it. And then AJ caught that touchdown, and Vontaze intercepted the ball, and I'm literally got my Instagram up, and I got Clemson's whole team behind me. Because I'm like, dude, you got to be with me because it's the Bengals, it's the Tigers. We both in the Cat family. And I'm up there going, Bengals, the curse is over. We're going to beat the Steelers. And I got Clemson's team behind me, and Jeremy Hill fumbled that ball. I went, delete. I never made that post. I told everybody, get away from me. I went in like the lobby of the hotel and watched it. And Tony Rock was on the show, and Tony's a huge Steelers fan. And even he knew not to cross me. Even he knew when you lose a game like that, that's not the time to rub it in somebody's face. And literally, like, I was so depressed. There's pictures of me at the ESPN party that night on the red carpet. I'm not smiling. Like, everybody's like enjoying themselves. I'm not looking. I'm not into it. I did no interviews. I was just at the party like, I don't even want to be here. I could not believe it. I thought the writing was on the wall. Super Bowl, we was coming. Nope, didn't work out that way. It happens. It happens. Now, every week I'm going to give you my Super Bowl picks. AFC, it's Kansas City. I don't see that changing anytime soon. They look fully loaded. In the NFC, I'm still going with the Falcons, but the Eagles are hot on their heels. I didn't see the Eagles coming like this, but Carson Wentz is the real deal. Didn't the Browns trade out with the Eagles, and the Eagles traded up, and they got Carson Wentz? So he could easily be with the Cleveland Browns right now. Easily. It's just another debacle of a draft by the Browns. They've passed on so many franchise quarterbacks, though. I mean, since 99, they've always been towards the top of the draft. They passed on everybody. So a couple weeks ago, I had said, if the Bengals don't start winning, I'm going to stop doing my podcast. Good thing is they're on 2-game winning streak. So I'm going to be here. And this is a bye week. This is a stress-free week for me. All I got to do is root against the AFC North. All I got to do is root against Baltimore and root against the Steelers. Everything else is cake. Everything else is just bonus. And then let me address this before I get out of here. The Mike Pence fake walking out because guys were taking a knee. That was let me see. That's the worst acting job. What's a good analogy for an acting job? That was the worst acting job since my first audition. My first audition was really bad. It was a Pepsi commercial, and if you would have saw my audition, you'd be drinking Coke right now. It was that bad. Man, I thought I had it in the bag until I realized, oh shit just got real. Couldn't get the lady literally asked me to leave the room. You want to take a minute and come back? But I still think my audition was better than Mike Pence's fake acting job. He was always going to leave. He was always going to leave because he knew there was going to be numerous 49ers kneeling. And I'm like, dude, we see this coming a mile away. Listen, I got a great Colts story. Great one. We'll go out with this since we on Indianapolis. I went to a game over 10 years ago, a Colts game. And I had a buddy that worked in the front office with the Houston Texans at the time. His name's Tony Wiley. He's now in the front office with the Washington Redskins. And Tony's always a good dude. He'll hook you up with tickets if you're his boy and stuff. He takes care of his friends and stuff. But he got me field passes for the Colts Texans game. So I walk out of the tunnel, and I think I had just gotten on House of Pain. So this is 2008. I just got on House of Pain, and I had a movie come out the year before. So I wasn't like some household name, but I was doing pretty good. And I come walking out the tunnel, and the crowd goes crazy around the tunnel. And I felt like they were cheering for me. I said, oh, shit, I must have just hit. I'm really popular in Indy. I look behind me, Jared from the Subway commercials walked out right behind me. And the crowd was losing its shit over Jared. And I guess he's from Indy. And I literally thought all these people knew me. And I was like, I know. I look back. They're going nuts over Jared from Subway. Safe to say he's not going to be at a game anytime soon. I promise you that. But I literally was feeling myself. It reminded me of time, and speaking of Indy, when the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis a few years ago, when the Giants played the Patriots, I was on the red carpet for the ESPN party, and they said, Gary, you're next. I said, cool. Tim Tebow showed up, and he walked right before I was supposed to walk on the red carpet. And when I say the cameras just went with him, because at that time, he was the man. I think he just got the NFL. He was with the Broncos. And literally the photographers and crowd went with him. And when it was my turn to walk the red carpet, there was nobody left. I think it was like one person from a college paper. To give a sound effect, Tim Tebow walked the red carpet like cameras. When I went the red carpet, that was it. One camera. And then it was funny because when I was leaving the party, Andrew Hawkins was waiting outside. If you guys know Andrew Hawkins, he's a little guy. He just retired this year from the NFL. He couldn't get in to the ESPN party because he didn't have his lanyard, and they didn't believe he was in the NFL because he was so small. So I literally walked out and I did a Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola commercial. I was leaving. He goes, I said, what are you doing, man? He goes, man, I can't get in. I don't have my NFL I don't have my lanyard, and they don't believe I'm in the NFL. I don't have and I guess there's an NFL player's card they give people sometimes. He didn't have either. He just had his ID, and they didn't know who he was. So I had to give him my lanyard, and I gave him my lanyard so he could get into the ESPN NFL party. That's a damn shame they didn't let him in. He was just standing there looking like a lost kid. But he's only like 5'6". I can see how you won't believe. Yeah, right. You in the NFL? So yeah, but I got Andrew with. So anyways, yeah, like I said, this week I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Just go to GaryOwen.com if you want to come to the show. Ticket links are on there. It's at a place called Stand Up Live. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's a good week. The Bengals win next week. The NBA season will be in full bloom. So hopefully, no coaches snort cocaine and send a video to a stripper this week. Hopefully, it's a slow week. Outside of that, hopefully, it's a nice, safe week. All right, y'all. This is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast. I'll see y'all next week.